Hello, and welcome to another Behind the Sounds video. If you are new to this series, this is a series where I discuss a recent piece of music or a recent ASMR album that I have put out. I release music and ASMR on YouTube and on Twitch, but also in more of an album format on Spotify and Apple Music and Bandcamp and all of the normal places that you would get music. So today we are talking about my most recent release, which is called Loopable ASMR. So obviously we're talking about an ASMR release this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some of these tracks in the background, and that way you can kind of get a feel for them. And then if you like what you hear, please go check them out. Follows and saves on Spotify and other platforms, always appreciated. And yeah, you can check me out and find all the music and ASMR that I've put out there. So if you have a favorite track from this release, you can let me know what it is in the comments, or just say hello. So the first track that we're going to discuss is Teabag and Wooden Frog. And these are the titular Teabag and Wooden Frog. And I think the Wooden Frog, I think the actual name for this is a gyro or a gyro. I'm not sure if the G is silent or not, but this is really a percussion instrument. And it makes a nice kind of, well, I don't know, it's a nice percussive sound. It sounds really good with just a little bit of reverb to get a kind of echoey sound. I like using this whenever I'm also making rain kind of noises, because if you really kind of use your imagination, you can kind of imagine that it sounds like a frog. Some of them sound better than others, but I really like this one, and this was gifted to us by one of the members in our Twitch community, so shout out to Gibby Levins for our little frog. And the other item, as I said, is this green tea bag. What's nice about this bag is you get a combination of the crackly paper, and you really only get that whenever a bag is brand new. So I've used this one before, so it's getting a little soft. But with a fresh bag, you get a nice crackly sound, as well as the soft kind of brushing sound of the tea leaves inside, kind of squishing those together. So together, it makes a sound that, especially when you loop it the way that I do, it sounds a lot like a crackling fire. I've gotten that comment many times, and so if you are into Foley work and you need to make a crackling fire sound, a Trader Joe's green tea bag is a great place to start. So that's the first track. Our second track is called Green Cloth and Mason Jar. So in this case, what I'm doing is I place the green cloth over the microphone, and then I lightly brush it with this little kind of spongy foam brush that is kind of perpetually covered in cat hair. And depending on what part of the brush you use and how the cloth sits, you can kind of get a different sound. So I went for a little bit of a harsher sound on this recording because a lot of people like the sound of a mic cover, which is a similar material to this, being scratched. And so I kind of wanted to recreate that sound, even though I don't have a foam mic cover like that. So that's kind of the brushy, scratchy sound. And then the other sound that you hear is this mason jar that's kind of somewhere between a third to half full. And I'm sort of tapping on different parts of it, and doing a little pitch bending kind of with that. This is really fun. I mean, this could be a interesting musical instrument all on its own. Although I think it would be very hard to tune. I think you would have to have just the right amount of water, and I'm sure it varies by the thickness of the glass. So maybe it wouldn't make a good musical instrument after all. But anyway, those are the sounds that you hear on the second track, Clean Green Cloth and Mason Jar. The third track is Incense Holder and Scissors. Scissors are a pretty common ASMR trigger. If you're new to ASMR, people make like barbershop kind of sounds and videos, and because a lot of people get that sensation when they're getting a haircut, and I think it has a lot to do with that kind of touching around the neck and on the scalp, and then the sound itself kind of going back and forth between your ears is nice. So that's what we're working with there. And then this incense holder is, I don't know, really old. I've had this around for a while, and I actually did my first ASMR video using this incense holder. You can go back in time and find it. I wasn't doing looped or layered ASMR then, so it's just me tapping on this like most people do. But what I'm doing on this track is if I put this kind of at a diagonal angle along the microphone here and rub it, it makes a nice kind of rigidy sound. If I get it just right, it kind of sounds like a cat purring. So that's kind of like this. So that's kind of what's going on there. You hear that? That's kind of the basis of the track, and then the scissors are kind of layered on top of that, going from side to side. So that's our third track, Incense Holder and Scissors. And our final track, I was looking around for the items of our final tracks, but I am the item. So the fourth track is called Unintelligible Whispering. And this is an ASMR trigger that I really, really enjoy. And what it is really is, it's sort of the sound of someone talking, but without being able to understand what they're saying. And the sounds that are really nice are like the hard parts that you make with your lips, like a B and a P kind of sound, as well as like a T with a T and a Ch that you make with kind of the close part of your tongue, and then like a K. I don't know about L's. Also and sh. So those kind of soft S-y sounds. So that's what I was doing here. I did it in my own kind of weird layered way where I think I have one take on one side, another take on the other, and then there's a take of audio that goes back and forth between them. I think I've actually gotten better at doing this trigger since I recorded. When I recorded, what I was doing was reading from these cards, but reading in such a way that overemphasized the consonants and kind of said the vowels very quietly. So this is a box of cards called Oblique Strategies, and if you're a fan of ambient music, you maybe have heard of these, or at least you've probably heard of the creator of one of the creators, Brian Eno. He created the term ambient music, and is one of its most popular, one of the most popular artists in that art form. He's also been a producer on a lot of albums. I love him. I love Brian Eno. I love listening to his interviews. I think he has very clever ideas, and I try to incorporate some of those ideas or make them my own. So what this set of cards is it's supposed to be sort of ideas or mental kind of puzzles that help you in a creative situation. It's not direct, as in it's not saying like turn the volume up or down, or close your eyes and imagine something. It's cards like just carry on. And another one here is it finished? And this is kind of a good one for this. Repetition is a form of change. So, repetition is a form of change. That might be something that immediately you aren't really sure what that means. But the purpose of the cards is to kind of come up with a solution. What does that mean in terms of the project that you're working on? So the idea is you pick a card and apply that to your creative situation. I use them now and then. I honestly use them. I use the box more as an ASMR trigger than anything else, because usually at the point when I'm getting frustrated with a creative project, I don't find these are always helpful. Sometimes I'm like, no, just tell me what to do. But they are actually very helpful at other times. And it's a nice way to explore creativity and to just challenge. It's more of creative thinking than critical thinking. So, critical thinking puzzles are pretty, like we kind of grow up with logic puzzles and things like that, but creative thinking puzzles, I think we could probably use more of that. So anyway, clearly I've gone off the topic of Loopable ASMR, which is my most recent release. And again, you can check it out on Spotify and Apple Music. I'll put links in the comments. Actually, I usually have links already in the comments to all of my stuff. In the description, I meant. I'm gonna stop talking now because I'm really losing it. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy these tracks, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.